Hey guys, I'm back with another one, and this video is going to be so good. Today, I am interviewing a stay at home mom who turned a problem so many of us moms have into a six-figure business. She is making $10,000 a month helping parents get their babies to sleep through the night. And trust me, if I knew this was a thing, I would have definitely hired her because when you're desperate for a full night's sleep, you will pay for whatever you have to get it. So today's video is going to be about how to become a sleep consultant and turn it into a six-figure business while you're still raising your babies, or if they're older, even better. We're going to talk about how much to charge your clients, how to find your clients, and just what's all involved in the day-to-day of becoming a sleep consultant. And make sure you guys stick around until the end because we worked out something special for all those who watch this video. You guys ready? Let's go. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jayne.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So we're going to get right into it. So first, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and then how you got started as a sleep consultant?
Sure. So my name is Jayne Havens. I live in Baltimore, Maryland. I have two kids. They're 9 and 5. I was a stay-at-home mom. In my previous life, I worked in catering sales, but I left that work to stay home with my two kids, well, to stay home with my son when he was born. And stay-at-home mom life was great for about 3 or 4 years, really until I had my second. And then that second time around, it just wasn't as fun anymore. My daughter was challenging. I was burnt out from caring for my kids 24/7. And I was really just looking for an outlet. I was looking for something to do to get my brain working again, to feel like an adult again. And I personally was always really good at getting my kids to sleep. That was sort of my thing. I taught them how to sleep independently when they were really little, about 4 months, 3, 4 months. And all of my friends were always sort of jealous and asking me for help. And I just sort of did that as a hobby for years, helping friends to get their kids to sleep. And when it came time to figure out what I was going to do, because I wanted to do something, I just kept coming back to the sleep thing. And so, sort of on a whim, I decided to go online and get certified to work as a sleep consultant. My intention was for this to just be a side hustle, something to make a little money while still prioritizing my children. And very, very quickly, that side hustle sort of grew into a full-time thing. And I don't even want to say full-time from like a time perspective, but like at least from an income perspective, I was making a full-time income while caring for my two kids and supporting families at the same time. So that's sort of my story of how I got started.
No, that's awesome. Now, just from perspective, how much did you start just doing this from scratch the first year?
So income, is that what you're asking? Like
Yes,
how is
sorry,
that?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So in my very first year in business, I made about $65,000,
Oh my
which
gosh.
I was pretty excited about. Like when I first started this business, I thought, okay, if I make $1,000 a month, I'd be thrilled. If I made $2,000 a month, that would be frankly like life changing for our family to just have an extra $2,000 a month in money to spend on extra travel or just like buying the kids things without thinking twice about it. And within that first year, I really was. By the end, I was having like $10,000 months. It was pretty crazy. Obviously, it was a slow progression, right? Like I wasn't making, $6,000 or $7,000 my first month in business. My first month in business, I brought in, I think it was like $2,400, which I thought was
That
pretty
is
great.
awesome. That's
Yeah, it was
awesome.
pretty great. And it sort of built from there.
Okay, this is amazing. So, as a sleep consultant, do you have to be certified?
So you don't have to be certified. There's no like governing body that oversees this field. I always explain it. It's really just supporting parents through the process of establishing healthy and independent sleep hygiene for their children. So we're essentially parenting coaches with a really strong emphasis on sleep. There's nothing medical about the work that we do. There's nothing dangerous or risky about the work that we do. We're just simply teaching parents how to teach their children to feel confident to fall asleep and back to sleep independently. So no, you don't have to be certified, but I do think that it's valuable to be certified for a few reasons, if it's okay that I share.
Yes, please.
I think it's value. I think there's value in it for a few reasons. The first is that, at least in my experience, I was really well read. I knew a lot about infant and toddler sleep. I'd read all the books, I'd read all the blogs, I had poked around in Facebook groups. But getting that education was super valuable because it gave me the confidence that I was qualified to charge people for my services and not just do this as a hobby, but actually take myself seriously. I also think that, as much as you know, there's always more to learn. I've now been in this business for several years and I'm constantly still learning. I continue to educate myself in new ways all the time. So if I think back to how little I knew at the time compared to what I know now, like, definitely you got to get that first bit of education to really get yourself off on the right foot.
No, that's so true. And even from someone like myself who would want to hire one, I'd be more confident knowing that they're certified in it too. So I think that actually helps credibility wise too, even when you're getting clients.
I think that's right. Actually, when I introduced myself to a bunch of strangers in like a work capacity, the first thing I always say is, my name is Jayne Havens. I'm a certified sleep consultant specializing in infant and toddler sleep. It's the first thing I say, and I do think that it gives you a little bit of authority.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you just saying that right there, just say, okay, I'm gonna listen to her because I'm a tired mama. I'm trying to figure this out, and just that alone will just make me like open my ears to really want to hear what you have to say, aside from somebody else who doesn't have those credentials. So,
Absolutely.
how do you get clients for something like this?
Sure. So there's so many ways to find clients, and everybody does it differently. I actually teach this in my sleep consultant certification course. I want to point out that sort of the main difference between my program and I think others on the market is that we're really placing a heavy emphasis on business building and entrepreneurship, because I know that when people decide to get certified to work as a sleep consultant, they do so because they're passionate about supporting families, they're passionate about helping other moms, they're passionate about infant or toddler sleep, but they don't necessarily have that confidence or the skill set to find clients, build a business, grow it, and one day scale it. This happens to be my favorite part, so I love teaching it. I always tell people that the key to growing a successful business, consulting specifically, but really anything, is to connect with others in the parenting, like in my situation, in the parenting space. So a lot of my referrals come from, you know, preschool directors, pediatricians,
Wow.
occupational therapists, other people that are already supporting children. My daughter's preschool director refers business to me all the time. I have a friend who's a family photographer. She takes those cute little newborn pictures. She says that every single family that comes into her studio immediately complains about how hard sleep is. So she has a stack of my business cards and she's like, here you go. And then, just like as your business grows, you start to get referrals from former clients. It's really a referral based business. So if you can get your hands on, maybe a dozen clients through sort of networking and connecting with other professionals, then it sort of starts to snowball, because we're out there changing lives. These parents, they're up every single hour with their infants and toddlers. They're sort of coming to us often at rock bottom, so exhausted. And in a matter of a few weeks, we are getting these kids sleeping. And when that happens, it's a life-changing experience. And these families are then sharing our name with all of their friends and their extended network. Most of my clients at this point are coming in from a referral from one of their friends who worked with me previously.
Okay, this is awesome. So, can you go ahead and give me like a day to day of what it would look like with a client? So just the
Sure.
understanding how this works.
So the beautiful thing about working as a sleep consultant is that you really can tailor this business to work for you. There's no one right way to support a family. I'm happy to share my process, but understand that, like, actually one of my students who graduated from my sleep consultant certification course, she said to me, and I repeat this all the time, she said to me, you know, I really started to thrive when I finally realized that my business didn't need to look exactly like yours, right? So when she figured out a way to make it work for her is really when she took off, right? We have to make our businesses work for our lifestyle and our families and everything we have going on. My process, I offer two services. The first is an Ask Me Anything call. It's a 30-minute phone call where basically just people will hop on and it's like an information dump. People will call me and say, I want to transition my 3-year-old from a crib to a bed. I don't want to mess this up. Can we talk for 30 minutes about how to make this transition a peaceful and positive experience, right? So I'll just do a 30-minute call. At the time of this interview, my pricing for that call is $145 for a 30-minute call. And it's just a phone call. There's no follow up, there's no emails, there's no written sleep plan. It's literally just an information dump. The second service that I offer, it's called a 2-week consultation. And I would write a customized written sleep plan for them, which outlines, an age appropriate daytime schedule for naps and feedings for younger babies. It would outline a bedtime routine and then probably 2 to 3 different strategies for how to actually teach the child to sleep independently. And we would get on a phone call, go over the sleep plan, answer their questions. I would support them for 2 weeks via text message, and then we do a wrap up phone call at the end. And I charge $650 for that service.
Oh, wow. $650 for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Just
for two
on the
weeks. And
side, and then you're not even doing like, so what does this
it's
schedule look like as a mom working from home?
Yeah, so that 2-week consultation, some people think about that pricing like $650 to work with someone for 2 weeks. That sounds like maybe not enough money, but the way that I look at it is it's literally a written sleep plan, which takes me at this point it's super fast because I've written so many, maybe 30 minutes to write the plan, 2 30-minute phone calls, and text message support. So it's not a whole lot of it's not a big time commitment to pull off that 2-week consultation. Um, to tell you what that looks like in my life, my life is a combination of, you know, networking and connecting to build my business even further. It's supporting families. And then it's also just like showing up on social media, just being around. I think that nobody can buy your services if they don't know that you exist, right? So I just try to make myself present as much as possible and talk about my business to anybody who's really willing to listen or who's interested. And that's really what it looks like. My day is very flexible. I play tennis twice a week. I have a mahjong game with friends. I still do everything for my kids. I don't have any childcare other than they're in school a full day.
Mhm.
But I'm able to run a very successful, bustling business, still as a stay-at-home mom.
This is now, I'm not gonna keep saying awesome, but I keep saying this is awesome.
It is. It really
Because
is.
I love it so much because you're able to text your clients, because as a mom myself, I cannot get on the phone to save my life because they always want to scream whatever when I finally get on the phone. So just to be able to run your business from your phone, just texting, is so ideal as a mom and make a nice amount of money doing it at the same time. I mean, I think it's amazing that you built this where you're making $10,000 a month at the
Yeah.
same and helping. And I think that's also the other thing is so important. It's so you're really helping people. Like, I don't want to say like save lives, but honestly,
Yeah, no, we
I'm
kind
one
of
of
are.
well, you actually, yes, you are, because I was one of those moms that really, I don't want to say suffer, but it was hard for me to get my kids in bed. So if I would have known that you were around then, I would have definitely hired you, and you are definitely worth the price because that sleep is so invaluable. I don't care how much it is. I needed it, and I wish we could have met earlier.
People tell me all the time, like I saved their marriage. They tell me that they enjoy their children more. I hear the most wonderful things. People tell me that I'm the best money they ever spent as a parent, and we all know that parents spend a ton of money in those first like 3 or 4 years. You're buying the crib, the bassinet, the pack and play, the car seat, the this, the that, right? And it's just like money flying everywhere when you have a new baby. And people tell me all the time that that investment in learning how to establish healthy and independent sleep hygiene for their kids was the best money they spent like ever on their children.
I believe it. And so can you just tell us what type of person would be good at becoming a sleep consultant, or like maybe some characteristics that would make a good one?
Yeah, so I think it's probably somebody that values sleep for their own children, right? Like if you have children that are up at all hours in the middle of the night and you can't fathom figuring out how to change that, then you're probably not the right person to support other people through the process of making that change, right? That being said, I have had women enroll in my course who did have like horrible sleepers, and they enrolled for the purpose of improving sleep in their own home to then feel really confident to then support other families. So I think it's possible,
Oh,
but
that's a good way to, yeah.
I've had several women do that, but generally speaking, those who are enrolling in my program are those that really do have independent sleepers, and they have worked on that in their own home, and they understand the value of giving your infant or your toddler a full night of sleep and the age appropriate amount of daytime sleep, and they really pride themselves on doing that for their own children. Those tend to be really great fits for doing it professionally. But really, I've had plenty of women that don't necessarily fit that box, but they want to learn and they really realize like what they did in their own home wasn't beneficial, and they want to make a change and then help others. And I would say that you need to be empathetic, right? You need to be patient because parents come to us. It's very emotional when your child isn't sleeping, you're sleep deprived, your child's sleep deprived. There's often some crying during this process, right? When we make a change to the way our children
Yeah.
sleep, they cry about it. So that can be really overwhelming for parents. And we as sleep consultants need to be that strong, empathetic, patient support person that really helps them from one side of the mountain over to the other. And so you really need to have patience, empathy, a kind heart, and I think with anything in entrepreneurship, you need to have a little bit of drive, right? Like um this is not like a get rich quick operation. This is a training to learn a skill that is in really really high demand. But just like with anything else, when you go to work for yourself, you have to work hard.
Hmm.
And I don't like to pretend that you don't, because I hate that. You see that everywhere online. Like, this is so easy. Nothing good comes so easy, right?
No.
So I think you have to be willing to work hard. If you want to work for yourself, then you have to have drive and you have to be excited about what you're working on, because if you don't have passion for it, then it's hard to really dedicate the time and the energy and the effort that it takes to be successful, just like
Right.
with anything else.
Right. Okay, so thank you. I will say for creating a course for something like this for people who want to get started in this. So can you just tell us about what the course is and kind of what's all involved in it?
Yeah, sure. So it's an online sleep consultant certification course. It's in an online learning platform. So if you decide to enroll, you would get, access to the online learning platform as well as our Facebook group for all of our students and graduates. You get lifetime access to both the curriculum and the Facebook community. So you get
Wow.
continuing education for life. There's no annual fees to remain a part of the community or to remain certified. The course is 8 modules long. You'll learn the science of sleep. You'll learn safe sleep as it relates to both infants and toddlers, and we follow the American Academy of Pediatrics Safe Sleep Guidelines. You'll learn sleep as it relates to different developmental ages and stages. So, like, what type of developmental milestones can trip up sleep? Just to give you an example, when 8-month-olds learn to pull up to stand, that can sometimes make sleep tricky, right? Because they were great sleepers, but then all of a sudden they stand up in their crib and they don't know how to lie back down, right? So you'll learn all of the little developmental ages and stages that sort of impact sleep. After that, you'll learn the sleep training techniques. So, how to teach a baby or toddler or even preschooler or big kid how to fall asleep and back to sleep independently. Our course is really comprehensive in this area. We're teaching all sleep training methods, everything from very sort of gentle, parent present, hands on approaches, all the way through extinction, which is the cry it out method. And if you want me to come back to that, because I know sometimes people are freaked out by that, maybe we should come back to that.
Okay.
But we teach all sleep training techniques. After that, what's after sleep training techniques? Unique circumstances. So you'll learn how to support parents with multiples, parents with children that have special needs. You'll learn how to support parents that are struggling with perinatal mood and anxiety disorders, how to support a breastfed baby through sleep training,
Yes.
right? All important stuff. After unique circumstances, you're going to learn how to effectively communicate with your clients. So, how to write a sleep plan, how to get on a discovery call, how to sort of walk your families through this process so that they can be successful. And then at the end, there's a huge resource. Oh, before the resource library is my favorite part is the business section. This is where you're going to learn how to launch, grow, and scale a sleep consulting business. You're not just going to learn like the logistics of setting up a sleep consulting business. That's what most courses are teaching you, like how to get a business bank account, how to set up social media, like really just like the logistics. We're actually taking that a step further, and you're going to learn sales, marketing, business growth strategy. We do some mindset work. All of these trainings are really designed to position you to be successful in business, which I think is the most important thing. And then at the end, there's a resource library with a whole bank of resources, videos, links to articles, studies, all that good stuff.
Wow, this is a very
It's a lot.
comprehensive.
Yeah,
But
it's a lot.
okay, so this is like the all-in-one package. I mean, I know this does not exist anywhere else. So can we talk about how much does this something like this cost?
Yeah, so the course at the time of recording this interview is $24.50 if you pay in full. We also have payment plans where you can pay over the course of, I printed this out because they're a little confusing. You can pay over the course of 2, 4, 6, 7, or 8 months. And if you
Wow.
decide to pay in installments, the course becomes a little bit more expensive the longer that you drag it out. The least expensive monthly payment, which would be for 8 months, you'd pay $375 a month for that payment.
No, that's awesome because I really appreciate you even offering that because I deal with a lot of different programs. I know they're like, this is the full price right here, and that's it. So I do want to say thank you for at least making it affordable for people who can't, go ahead and just pay it in full.
Yeah, and I should say that a majority of my students are enrolling on payment plans, so you wouldn't be the odd one out if you did that. I think it's totally reasonable to want to pay a reasonable monthly fee to get started to do this, and then you can start working. Really, you can start working as soon as you feel confident. Nobody's stopping you from getting started. So as soon as you feel confident, even if that's before you finish the course, technically you can take on clients. So you can start earning an income, before you've even finished.
Now, can you give us some success stories from students who have taken your course?
Yeah, sure. So I'll tell you one story, one that pops into mind just based on what we were just talking about, a family that didn't have sleep under control in their own home. Someone named Ramya enrolled in my course. She has a little 4-year-old son who was bed sharing, sleeping with her all night long for his entire life. This is all they ever knew. And when he was 4, she was getting to the point where she was just sort of ready for him to transition to his own room. And she had no idea how to go about that. And she was really sort of overwhelmed and emotional about the process. So she decided to enroll in the course for the purpose of figuring out how to get her son to sleep independently. And about 3/4 of the way through the course, she got through the sleep training section and she's like, okay, I think I'm ready to get started. And I said to her, you know what? Why don't you reach out to another student within our community, maybe someone just getting started, and see if that person would support you sort of as your sleep consultant, and do it for a testimonial or good word of mouth. And so she teamed up with someone else who had already completed my course, and that person supported her. She got her son sleeping within, I think it was less than 14 days. Like, I think it was like 12 or 13 days. Her son was sleeping through the night on his own. And now she started up her own business and is taking on clients. So she's feeling incredibly sort of confident because she did it herself,
Right,
and she,
right.
right, so she lived through it, and now she's really trying to she's focusing on building her business around the cultural norms. She's Indian, and a lot of Indians bed share, and she wants to
Oh,
support
wow.
others through, like, transitioning out of bed sharing. So that's sort of going to be her niche, and I think it's super awesome. I have another student. Her name is Shannon. She was a third grade teacher working full time, in a school, and decided, same thing. Actually, her daughter was 14 months and she wanted to figure out how to get her daughter sleeping. She enrolled in the course to figure out her daughter's sleep and then to try and have a side hustle on top of her teaching career. And she got her daughter sleeping. And within 1 year, she had built her sleep consulting business up to be large enough that she could leave her teaching job. And now she makes more money sleep consulting than she ever did as a teacher.
Oh,
And
wow.
she's doing great. So those are just two off the top of my head, but I have so many success stories. And success is relative. I have a lot of women who are doing this just part-time, and they're totally thrilled to make, $1,000, $2,000 a month. And then I have others that are making 8, 10, $12,000 a month doing this. And the ones that are making 2,000 are just as happy with themselves as the ones making 10. It's sort of like everybody has different goals and different
Mhm.
sort of realities.
No, that's awesome. That's why I remember when I was wanting to quit my job, I'm like, if I could just make $2,000, I am fine. I would just be so happy about that. And I think even thinking about the price of your course, if these women are making this much every single month, I mean, if for I'm just saying this for those who may be a little concerned about the price, you're gonna make that. I mean, I'm sure the women who are making $10,000 a month, they're so happy that they spent that little bit of money just to gain all the knowledge that they have now, where they can build their business into six-figure businesses. So,
Yeah, I think that
and
that's something a lot of people are worried about, that the return on investment. I think that that comes up with any entrepreneurial.
and it
uh
should.
Yeah, it should. It should, right? Everybody is worried about the return on investment. And what I have to say about that is that this is like within you to get a return on investment. It's not the course, right? It's your decision that you are capable of building this business and growing it. And most of my students, everybody that's trying is doing great. Of course there are people that, like, just like with anything else, like, you enroll in something, you never make anything of it. That happens,
Exactly.
right? But all of my students that are really working at this, they are building their businesses, they're getting a return on investment. A lot of my students make a complete return on investment within just like a month or two of getting their businesses off the ground. So it's very, very doable. On average, it takes about 5 or 6 paying clients to get a full return on investment. So in the grand scheme of things, like, that's nothing. That can be done in just a few months.
Yeah, and I know we worked something out for those that are still watching. So do you want to talk about the special discount offer that we have for them?
Yes. So we are going to have a discount code that is only available for this audience, and the code is tried and true. It's going to be for $250 off the price of the course, and the coupon code will work on the pay in full option or any of the payment plans. So you can actually enroll today for as little as, I think it comes out to like 125 a month for the
Oh,
first
wow.
month. If you use that $250 off the 8-month payment plan, you'll actually enroll today for only $125, I think it is. So it's a great deal.
That's so awesome. And thank you so much for doing that. And so everyone that's watching, we're going to leave all the links in the description below so you can access this. And before we end, is there anything else that you want to, any feedback or any suggestions for anyone who's considering becoming a sleep consultant?
Um, I don't know. I hope that everybody watching is really sort of excited about this offer and inspired by my story and the ones that I shared. I think that when it comes to trying to figure out the right side hustle for you as a stay-at-home mom, you have to follow your passion. You have to love what you're doing. And if you're watching this and you're like, oh my gosh, I got my kids sleeping. Oh my gosh, I'm always the one answering questions about my kids' sleep. If that's you, then I think you'd be a right fit. And alternatively, if you're on the other side the struggle and you're like, man, I'd love to get my kids sleeping, I also think that this would be a really good place to start. I think for those that came to me with kids that were up at all hours of the night and got their own kids sleeping and now are supporting others, they are so good at what they do because it's fresh in their minds. They just went through it,
Right.
and they have that frame of reference. Sometimes I have to put myself back there. My kids sleep very, very well. So every now and then, if my daughter has a bad dream in the middle of the night and I'm up with her, I'm like, oh, this is what my clients deal with every single night. So it's important to put yourself back there every now and then.
Right. Okay, no, that's some solid advice. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna do a different ending today to my video. So I want to show you guys that now.
Thanks for watching my mom's video. I hope you had a great day watching my mom's video. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notifications, and bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.